Back to Keys and Gears, and I'm Bess.
I'm Mark.
Fantastic. We're here again. We're so glad you're here again. And Mark, spring is springing? It hasn't sprung quite yet, but it's getting ready to.
Yes.
And I have to share with you
Yes.
that this morning on my run, I had this revelatory, I'm not going to stumble. Okay. It came to me much better in my head than it is loud at this moment.
You had a moment to meditate.
But, because the calls that I'm getting and people are excited about, hey, we're ready to thrive and talk about changing up and change our location. This home isn't working or whatever it might be. Right. So what should we do? We don't want to sell yet because we want the kids to finish in school or whatever it might be. What can we do
to prepare for the move? And that could be a first-time home buyer too. What do I need to do? I'm currently renting, right?
Fair enough.
Same thing.
All the things. If you're getting ready to have
prepare?
A move, right? Yeah. And number one, so this is what I came up with: spick and span.
Love it.
Okay.
Explain. Do explain. How did that come about?
So here we go. So let's break that out.
Yeah.
Let's break it out. All right. SP.
Okay.
Is the first part of spick and span, right? SP, space. Start creating space right where you are now. Best, how do we do that? Start being intentional with your personal belongings. Wardrobe, automobile, hobby, paraphernalia,
right? So
all those things.
Let me stop you right there. So if you're talking about, I own a house and now I'm wondering about selling.
Yes.
Start with the space that you currently have, and are you talking about
and create more space?
More space. Okay.
Declutter. Evaluate every single item. Start now, like while you're talking on the phone. Opening up a junk drawer and going through the junk drawer.
Oh my gosh, everybody has one.
Right? Yeah. Especially in Texas right now, we are spring one week and then tomorrow we're winter.
Yeah.
Good news, since you're literally going through your entire seasonal wardrobe in a week here in Texas, use that time to what are you grabbing when it's raining outside? Okay. What are you not grabbing?
Put that away.
Yeah, right?
Pack it up in a box.
What you're not grabbing needs to go be donated to Genesis Women's Shelter or something like that and pay it forward.
Declutter your space, pack things up that you don't use on a regular basis.
Exactly.
Because you're probably not going to use it between now and when you sell the house.
Exactly.
Right? So that's space. What's next?
Space. You want to go over all of them, or are we going to break this out into episodes? We hadn't really talked about that before.
We're
just winging it again, y'all.
You have more on space? I don't want to.
I was going to say, well, my other thought,
mojo.
my mojo, my other idea, my other thought, just from based on experience and helping people through the process of a move, is space, as in walk through your current circumstances and evaluate how you use that space. Are there areas that you don't use that you're paying for? Are there areas that are multitasking because of the space you're in?
I didn't think about that.
Is that breakfast area also your office space? Is it also the kids' homework space? Darn it, you've gotten into sourdough since pandemic.
Yeah.
Where are you creating your sourdough creations? Are you kind of so where are your pain points? Where are the dust bunnies collecting?
Yeah.
Go through and evaluate your space, because moving, any life change, including a move, is not super fun.
No, it's pretty stressful.
Challenging.
It's stressful.
So give your future self the gift of investing in that future self now and evaluating what kind of space do you need. Are you starting a side hustle where you wrap gifts in a very bougie, glorious way?
Right.
Okay, well maybe, and that's being done on the kitchen table, and the kids accidentally drip their milk on it in the morning. Okay, that sounds like it's a life pain point. So new space, maybe that's what we need to dial in when we find that new space, is how to evaluate, how to fix that pain point, alleviate
so make a list of how you would want your new house. How would you utilize the spaces in your new house? So what spaces would you need in your new house, and start with that, and talk to Bess and say, here's what I would like to have in my new house. I need a wrapping station. I need an office. I need a kid's playroom, right? And start with those things, so that you have a less cluttered feel to your life and less stressful feel to your life, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because that adds stress when you have a multifunction space that keeps changing. It kind of adds stress without you realizing it's adding stress.
Well, and just like us, studies have found that multitasking is a fallacy of thinking for us as people. Most recent statistic I saw was that we are 50% less efficient, actually, and we're 40% more likely to make a mistake if we're multitasking.
Caveat to that, as a former race car driver, I can tell you the only part of your brain that can multitask is your subconscious. Your subconscious can actually do 15 different things at one time. Your conscious mind, the part that talks to you every day, that's your conscious brain, your prefrontal cortex. It can only do one thing at a time. So when you say multitasking, if you have the ability, as many athletes do, to turn that inner voice off, to stop using the frontal cortex and only use the subconscious mind, that's how somebody can catch a ball midair with one hand.
Is that the flow? Is that flow that we're talking about there?
That's exactly flow.
Oh, what a great
description. You can actually multitask. It's just you have to understand that you need to turn off the frontal cortex in order to do so. So you could multitask, but most people can't because they only use that frontal
Great clarification.
cortex.
That's true.
So,
I mean,
just a sidebar.
We do multitask because we do breathe and I do
too.
see you at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do talk with my hands at the same time.
I can walk and chew gum at the same time. Amazing, you know. So
very well said.
Sidebar.
So the conscious brain is best when it's not multitasking. And the crazy thing is, space works best the same way.
Correct.
For the most part. I mean, granted, we do read a cookbook and also cook at the same time, but we're collectively, you're creating a meal.
And people that have a cluttered home, a lot of times don't realize how uneasy it makes them.
Right. Because
you kind of get used to that, and now you have to look at your home also in a sales perspective, right? You got to make that space sellable to a new buyer. And if all they see is clutter, you know, that's beyond what you're talking about. You're talking about, I made the decision, I want to move.
What's next?
What's next? What's next in the process? So you start with your space and say, here's what I want. Then I call up Bess and say, here's what I'm looking to have. And then your next question is what? Neighborhoods or...
Right. And along those lines too, going back with our space, our third part of space is... then evaluate the interior flow and the exterior flow of that space. Step outside. How do you feel walking up to where you are right now? I mean, do you love it because of the trees on the streets and people are walking their dogs? Do you not like it because you're too near a street and there's too much noise? Do you like it because you can walk over to Skellig's or whatever else it might be?
Or is there no park for your 5 dogs to play in?
Right.
You want a place that's closer to a park, right? Or yeah.
So there's your SP of spick and span.
I love it.
So
then we're going to do other episodes on the other letters. Oh my!
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm intrigued.
There you go. How about that for a titillator teaser?
This sounds
all the
complicated,
things.
Bess.
No. It's all about just having fun together and talking and sharing and coaching.
What I would love about
our people.
What I love about this is that you're consciously thinking about it instead of just, this is just the way it is. You're actually encouraging people to think things through. And that's
Absolutely.
what I love that because
Absolutely.
most people don't. They kind of do a knee-jerk reaction to things and they don't really think about it, and I love that. I think that's great. So
always want to set people up for a win. I mean, winning is fun.
Yeah, no, it is. And
there's different ways to win.
When you have people that you call up and say, how's the house? They're like, oh my God, we love our house. We're so glad we moved, right? That's always a fun phone call, right? Because that means we've done our job.
Right. That's one of the keys to happiness.
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
I love it. Anything else on space? So we've done SPIC, SP. Okay.
We've done this
space.
SP of spick and span.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So stay tuned for the next one.
Holy moly!
Holy cow.
What could I be?
Dun, dun, dun. Well, I have for you another cool picture.
Yeah, the weekly
the weekly picture
let's see it.
craziness.
What do we
Okay,
have?
so here we go. All right. So what the heck, Bess? Well, I'm bringing this because so we all have that what do we do with it side yard space.
Yes.
Generally, it grows weeds for many people that are
muddy
single
mess.
family homeowners. And actually, this does apply to if you own a townhome, which usually has a very small back
Right.
patio.
Right.
Most people's knee-jerk reaction is, I'm just going to put concrete or pavers over the whole thing.
Right.
And I would ask you, dear watcher, listener, to take a minute, like we're talking about, consider the space and consider how your personal space, this side yard, that back patio, works with the rest of the world. And that is, how do we, it is possible, in my humble opinion, to stop global warming and to stop a lot of the things going on by just being more intentional with how we use our space.
Aware.
And be aware. Yeah. This is a very good example of that. And what am I leading to? I am leading to the fact, and that is, this is a great way to make the most of a space, as in pavers where you can step with certainty, where you can place things with certainty and keep them out of water way. Yeah. But yet you allow water by way of this pea gravel that is in between these stepping stones to drain down into the ground where the universe, God intended for it to go, is to go down. Like people talk about flooding. Well, the reason why flooding is getting worse and worse is because we are expanding our highways for more fast travel, and we are building more homes. And so the more homes, the less places for water to go, and the more parking lots we build to make it more convenient for us, the fewer places water has to go. So here's a fantastic solution. I have seen people go high dollar with this, and that is they've got the pavers, and instead of pea gravel, which is maybe $3 for a bag, they do that really cool black Mexican river stone. Right. I've seen people take broken tile, which is a great way to recycle, and stick it in between. Yeah. Obviously, yes, Bess, you have to be mindful of not having pokey edges sticking up. But just take a time out and just think about how you can be a steward of the space that you have.
I like it. And by the way, I've seen this also done very well for a dog run.
Yes.
Right? So you do gravel for a dog run, and you teach your dog, this is where you do your business, not in my backyard.
Not in the backyard.
Right? And you can wash it. You can, it's multi-purpose. I've also seen this done very well with grass in between the pavers.
Mondo grass.
Much more challenging to do correctly.
But it's beautiful.
But it's beautiful. It can really add a lot of wow to the side yard.
Absolutely. And along those lines, as we're going to hop over to this, and as especially the pavers with the grass in between is magnificent as a deck around a pool. Those of you in Texas that are building pools, or especially if your deck around your pool is over 15, 20 years old, the Texas soil has probably destroyed it, and you've got cracks all over the place. The simple stepping stones with grass around them is one of the best pool deckings ever, because it cuts down on the heat. Again, going back to global warming, but it also is it's very soothing to the eye.
It's stylish.
It's very stylish, and also it ages well on our soil,
and it moves.
Because it moves,
because the soil moves.
Because it moves,
and it goes
absolutely
to our current subject, which is space.
Space.
You've turned your side yard space into something that's actually appealing, usable. So when you resell it, it's actually a resellable space, right?
So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you,
Love y'all.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you tune in next time. Like and subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time.